Good afternoon. Welcome to the session. And we are going to cover more about the login site cloud. And as you know, like we have been hearing a lot of new buzzwords around observability. And as we know that observability relies on three main pillars. One is your metrics, uh, then traces, and who can tell me the third one?
Is it logs?
Yeah.
So,
So we are going to talk more about the logs, login side. So I am Abhijit Timle. I'm part of observability and tools team. And
myself, Faisal Ahmed. I'm part of VMware IT monitoring tools and observability team.
yeah. So we are part of Customer Zero. Basically, we are early adopters of all our Viralize products, and we work very closely with the product team. So as part of today's agenda, we are going to cover like how we have migrated from Viralize login site on-prem version to the cloud version. And a quick disclaimer, so we are not going to cover anything about the feature which are under development. And as part of the agenda, we are going to cover about what is login site cloud, the key benefits of migrating, and we'll spend more time around migration process, like how we migrated and on the planning stage as well. And then followed by a demo. Yes.
Hi. How many of you have been using login site on-prem here? Good. Nice to hear that. So, what login site cloud provides us? Well, using login site cloud, it gives us the enterprise visibility across your multiple, like cloud native, Azure, multiple private, public, and hybrid clouds. So, what are the key benefits we'll get when we use login site cloud? First thing is multi-cloud observability. So, login site cloud supports Azure, GCP, AWS, along with the native VMware, VMC on AWS or VMC on Dell EMC. Then the second thing we'll get the availability, like login site has availability across 7 different regions across the globe. Then scalability, then rapid troubleshooting and analysis.
Yeah. So further, I see a lot of features coming in, right? So yeah, please go over the features. I would like to
Sure.
know key benefits.
The key features with a login site cloud you will get it is like KB Insight, cloud proxy, and log forwarding. Then how do you integrate your TKG Kubernetes cluster with login site cloud? Then what is log partitioning, the log masking, and on the migration front, how do you import and export dashboards from your on-prem login site instance to the login site cloud?
So features look very cool. Let's get into the migration phase now.
So before you plan for a migration, there are 3 primary elements for a migration to be successful. Number 1, assessment. Number 2, planning. And number 3, execution.
So can you elaborate more on the planning stage?
Sure. So before I get into it, so these are the 5 pillars for the migration to be successful. Number 1, scope, resource, compliance, impact analysis, and capacity management.
Okay. So I see that, I already have a login site on-prem instance with alert configurations already configured, and I have so many dashboards, right?
Right.
So how easy it to migrate
Very good
to the cloud
question,
now?
Abhijit. So that comes under scope. So scope means what application you are going to migrate to login site cloud. What is your user base? Like you have n number of users on your on-prem login site which you want to migrate to the login site cloud, and the custom configs like your dashboards, content packs, all those things comes under scope. Now, when it comes to the resource part, we need to make sure like we have enough bandwidth when we migrate the workloads from on-prem login site to the login site cloud. Are there any firewall restrictions? We need keep those things in mind before we plan for the migration. Number 3 is a compliance. Like, do you have any GDPR requirements for your data? Number 4, impact analysis. We need to make sure when we migrate to the login site cloud, will it impact my user experience? What do I need to provide training to my end users before they migrate to the login site cloud? All these things comes into play in impact analysis. Last is the capacity management. As on day today, login site gives you 30 days of live retention and 7 years of archiving data. So let us come to the key features of Log Insight Cloud, which is KB Insights. KB Insights is basically the logins gives you the deep insight into your log data by leveraging the machine learning capabilities of Log Insight, along with the potential solutions which using VMware KB articles or VMware knowledge base. For example, in this slide you see, right, I have a couple of exceptions which Log Insight has detected out of the box. By default, this analysis Log Insight will do in the last 6 hours data, it will combine and give me the potential solution for that problem. So I don't have to search manually what is the potential fix for this problem. I can go back, follow this KB article, and it helps me to fix the issues. Once it is done, we are good. Next thing is a cloud proxy. Cloud proxies are nothing but the gateway services between your private cloud and the VMware cloud offering services. So these are the virtual appliances which we can deploy on our on-prem to push data from on-prem data centers to the cloud. With the latest release of Log Insight 8.8, we have a feature called Log Insight Cloud Forwarding. What does mean is we don't have to really deploy the Log Insight proxies. The on-prem instance will act as a proxy server for you. What are the benefits we'll get it? We don't have to punch the firewall ports every now and then. So all the incoming data enable the forwarding. So it is just like shift and move. I enable the forwarding, it goes to the cloud. And we get couple of, so we have couple of features here, like if you want save logs locally as well as send it to the cloud, I can enable this feature which is called relay only. If I enable this one, Log Insight will act as a proxy. It doesn't say only logs locally on my Log Insight instance, it will just forward it. And second is a worker count, which normally means like we recommend it set to the maximum and the value is 32. The reason for that is if there's a high latency between source and destination, we recommend to have the maximum number of worker counts. So the data flows through the pipeline seamlessly without having any drops in the pipeline. Any questions here? Okay. Now we have a small video like how do we integrate your Tanzu Kubernetes grid with Log Insight Cloud. Well, there are multiple plugins available where we can integrate TKG cluster with Log Insight, the FluentBit plugin which is open source, the FluentD, the OpenShift. So in this demo, we'll talk about how we leverage FluentD plugin to integrate with Log Insight Cloud. So here what we are doing, we are using the Helm charts basically which is a predefined setup plugins. We deploy the Helm charts and we make config changes to that plugin. So all we need to key in the API key details, the cluster name and the environment name. Once it's done, I should be able to see the logs coming from my TKG Kubernetes cluster to the Log Insight Cloud. So I'll set here, I'll set the environment name. So I edit the values. So now we're going to install this plugin. It will run as a daemon set just to make sure all my pods are running. So here we go. So I'll go back to my Log Insight Cloud and to see whether we are getting the logs. So here we go. Any questions here? So it's just like within 2 minutes, you can integrate your entire TKG cluster with Log Insight Cloud. The configuration is so simple. You just deploy the FluentD plugin, execute it, run it as a daemon set, we are good. Now, another cool feature which Login Site Cloud provides is the log partitioning. This comes handy when you have some non-prod logs comes to a login site instance and you don't want to ingest them on the live storage. So login site gives a feature called non-index partition, which by default doesn't get indexed, which is non-searchable, but it will directly go and sit in the S3 bucket. If you want to search that data, you go back and index that data back and you can view those logs. That comes handy if there is any security requirement for your logs to retain it for like n number of years. So we can use non-index partitioning at that time. Now, log masking feature comes handy when there is a requirement from the SOX team. If in your logs you are getting the PII information, like username, password, or the contact info of the user. So, if we want to mask that information, we can leverage the log masking feature of login site. I'll show you how it works. So, basically, what it does, we have to set up the pattern regex pattern matching to mask that particular information. So in this scenario, what we are trying to capture is if there is a phone number in the logs, it will try to mask it, and this how it will look like before the masking and after the masking. The user information gets the contact information gets masked. Any questions here? Okay. Now the final thing, like how do you migrate your, you have like if you are using on-prem, you have created like n number of dashboards or the shared dashboards. How do you migrate those things to the login site cloud? So in this demo, we'll show you a small demo like how you export the content from on-prem and import it into login site cloud. So if you see here, this is my dashboard, which is my sitting on the on-prem login site instance. So I have to migrate the same as it is to the login site cloud. So what I'll do, I'll go to my content packs. My contents, and I'll try to export it. So once you try to export it, there are a couple of features which are mandatory. You have to give the name and the namespace name for the content pack to get exported. So I'll key in the name. Now I'll export it. So I'll go back to my login site console, cloud console, and try to import it here. So I'll go to content packs, my private content packs, and try to import it. So select. So once it works, so I can see it under my, I reload the page and I should be able to see it under dashboards, under share dashboards. This is how we migrate the content packs, custom content packs from on-prem login site to login site cloud. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, we are open for questions. If you have any questions, we are help. No, it is available for across all the board.
Key takeaways you can talk.
Yes.